Welcome everyone. First, my name is Igor Nusinovich. I want to welcome you here today in our webinar. So we hold monthly jewelry e-commerce meetups and webinars, both offline and online. And our goal is, of course, to help the jewelry community to grow technologically. We know that jewelry e-commerce is not today, it's already yesterday, and it's growing, and we do our best as the jewelry authority, technological authority of jewelry industry, our responsibility to meet you with the best solutions, best partners, best people, most knowledgeable. And so we select two completely different themes, not technological, much more business oriented. We as technology providers see that many times, even that providing with the best tools, the main challenge is actually understanding what should be done in for a successful jewelry e-commerce business-wise. So two themes that we have selected today to present to you very briefly, of course, because each one of these themes is huge at itself. So the first one is the logistic, and the second one is the AI, the artificial intelligence, how it can be used, and we want to concentrate on this too. So I will present the first theme, and after a short few seconds pause, we'll switch to Artem Sanderson, who is our guest today with his technological solutions for the AI, artificial intelligence in jewelry e-commerce. So, okay, let us start, and let us concentrate a little bit, or more than a little bit, as much as we will have in the next half an hour, on one of the critical themes in jewelry e-commerce, which is the logistics. I decided to concentrate today on logistics and fulfillment because there is a lot of speculation on this theme, and is it important, why is it important, and why we speak so much about it actually. So the reason that we speak about jewelry logistics is quite obvious. When we look at jewelry e-commerce, we concentrate on 5 major themes. We call them e-commerce pillars. It's logistics, customer service, technology, and budgeting, which actually support our product. So the major difference between offline and online world, which is important for the jewelry sellers to understand, is that when we sell online, we do not sell products. Normally we see beautiful brands, beautiful companies saying, I have the best products in the world, so why am I not selling? I have best prices, I have best production, why am I not selling so well online as I'm doing offline? So the major difference of the e-commerce world is that we're not selling products, we're selling actually product information, and this is the major change. Or we sell product offer. This is completely different. So when I have somebody standing in my physical store, I actually can be sure that he is seeing the jewelry he's ready to buy. He might have money or not, but in the online world, it's completely different. I have somebody sitting maybe somewhere in 10,000 kilometers far from me. So one of the things is he will never see the product before he buys. He will actually get the product after he buys, and it's very challenging. And one of the pillars that support for this buyer in buying is, of course, the logistics. This is why we're speaking about the logistics today. Actually, when somebody buys online, he does not exactly know when he will get the product. And this is where the logistic plays a very central game. So is this important or isn't it? We just started when I was preparing for this webinar. I just took a look around, and it's interesting what people think. What is important? Is it important free shipping, as everybody knows, or fast shipping? What is important? And most people say, yeah, free shipping is a very known issue, that everyone online today requires free shipping, and this is the very a simple recommendation to do. When you sell online, switch to free shipping. It's obvious. And then, as you can see, this is some quite outdated from 2017, but still very showing case. Less people speak about fast shipping. Free shipping is obvious and fast is less. But then when we take a look at the right side of this graph and we say what actually is fast shipping, and we will see that the shipping below 4 days, the handling time below 4 days is not acceptable by buyers. They do not rely on this shipping. They do not want to see the shipping as fast if it's more than 4 days. So this is where actually we can. The free shipping is easy to reach, because you can simply include the shipping fees in your product price, and that's it. The fast shipping is much more interesting thing to achieve. So what actually can we do with this, and how can we handle this? So we do want to find ourselves in 3-4 days, and this is one of the parts. Yeah? It just shows how important this theme is. The shipping, multiple shipping profiles, together with payment methods, actually is one of the 2 parameters which help buyers to buy, or avoid people from buying. So let's take a look at this a little bit deeper. And what is so special in logistics for jewelry? So logistics for jewelry, first of all, we're speaking about jewelry. It's emotional purchase, which creates urgency. Unlike having some planned purchase, it can be an emotional thing that only today I want to buy and only tomorrow I want to get it. So from one perspective, it creates a lot of opportunity for us because of this urgency. People buy faster. On the other side, if we are not good enough in our logistics, in our fulfillment, people will not buy, because if I want my ring, I forgot about my anniversary. Hope this will never happen, but it happened to me a few times. Once, if I forget about my anniversary, my marriage day, I just meet something tomorrow, and if my delivery is 3 days instead of next day, I will just, as a seller, so I will just miss the buyer. Selling jewelry is very different from selling electronics or iPhones or whatever. It's a unique product. Because it's a unique product, we have a very important situation, the product uncertainty, which actually means that your buyer doesn't know what he's buying, which means from the moment he actually buys something, pays you the money, he is most stressed. So again, the moment from the sale until he receives his item, he is very stressed, because he doesn't know, will it fit my beloved woman finger? Will it sit well on me? Will it look good? Because it's not an iPhone, it's not a laptop, it's not a TV, which you exactly know what you're receiving. And because of this stress, it means that as faster we will deliver our item, so more happy your client will actually be. This is even more important in jewelry compared, let's say, to electronics or home and garden, where the product is obvious, and maybe your buyer before that went to the local store, he saw the laptop, he touched the iPhone, he actually checked the product, and now he's just buying. And of course, the logistic for fine jewelry and fashion jewelry and handmade and customizable is very different. Even here, you have to be very cautious what you are selling. And of course, we speak about with some generalization. Now, how important is the logistics? If we look at the home bias paradox, which means buyers want to buy as close as possible to their home. So especially for international selling, putting your stuff close to your buyers, meaning putting your products closer. Let's say I am placed in Israel and I locate my jewelry close to my buyers in United States, which is my main market, can actually increase my sales 5 times. Reducing the handling time from above 4 days to below 4 days can double my sales. So the numbers are here. They're amazing. Now, of course, there is a big difference between the fine jewelry and the fashion jewelry, because in fine jewelry, I can always, if my items are $1,000 and above, it's easy for me to provide next day FedEx delivery. Now, in the fashion jewelry, actually, it's not a product war, it's a logistics war that we clearly see, and logistics becomes crucial. And it's totally normal that we see that people are ready, your buyers are ready to pay the same price for the $50 item, same price for the shipping as for the product. This is completely normal if I just need some present for tomorrow. So the handling time becomes really important for the fashion jewelry. In fine jewelry, it's easy to achieve. Now, when we speak online, we have to take a look at the marketplaces, at our sales channel. So if we look at Amazon, 80% of sales are actually made by FBA, fulfillment by Amazon, meaning if you miss this logistic part, which is the fulfillment by Amazon, then you're missing 80% of sales. eBay has a specific filter which actually filters the listings which offer less than 4 days delivery and which are below that, and the eBay algorithm actually gives you a penalty if you do not offer the 4 days delivery. Now, on the other side, there are more handmade oriented, more artisan oriented, more community oriented marketplaces like Etsy, which actually is quite indifferent to your handling time. So we have very clear clients who are amazingly selling on Etsy with 21-day, for example, handling time, and completely fail on eBay because they cannot create 4 days delivery and handling time. And this actually means that when you look at your business, you can also select the marketplaces or your sales channels according to your logistic and not opposite. So the most obvious thing when we speak about the jewelry logistics is the fulfillment. Now, what is fulfillment? The fulfillment is external warehouses, external services that we use to put our jewelry as close as possible to our buyers. So as we said, it can double and many times multiply by 5 our sales. So when we speak about the fulfillment, first of all, it's not the only reason. So one of them, of course, yes, our buyers expect us to be as close as possible because of the home buys. But in addition, we do not want to be a post officer. All we want to do is just concentrate on our jewelry business, and then let somebody handle all the logistics. So when we switch to fulfillment, it's very important because it can save our manpower, because especially in fashion jewelry, when our sales can grow 5 times. Okay, so we will have to hire additional manpower for packing, for sending, for managing. It's a place for mistakes, and we do not want to get there. So we want to have it scalable, our logistics scalable, and the fulfillment actually solves all this. We can send in July, in August, in September the needed amount. We'll speak about what is needed amount of the jewelry to FBA or to some other logistics center, and then we just know that everything will be handled automatically. So we get an order on eBay, and we have some fulfillment service that we use that automatically sends it to the buyer. Now, and of course, it gives us better service, customer service, and experience. Now, when do we use the fulfillment? Quite obviously, we want to improve our results. Okay, we want to improve our current results, and what is often missing, what we see is often missing, is the understanding that one of the most important parameters is of the logistics, and it's quite easy to improve, is the returns. So we can use the fulfillment for the returns. Now, many clients, when they buy, especially on external marketplaces, they do not know who is the seller, and they're not sure. They very much rely on the marketplace they buy from. Now, also, if they handle returns, they might already have some history some history of buying on the specific marketplace, and then maybe also returning. So this very simple situation, very simple case of returns can actually in some cases double your ability to sell, because if especially for the international buyers, if I buy from somebody and I have no idea how to return my jewelry that I just bought on eBay, I don't know how to return it to Germany. I don't want to handle this as a buyer. Especially we can see it in US clients who are very much home biased and are not that experienced with the international purchases. So the returns is one case. Store farming, establishing our store. When we establish our store, we want to have our products as close as possible. We want to create dumping prices. We want to aggressively enter the market. So the store farming is another case when we will use the fulfillment. We will just use external warehouses to handle this massive sales we do. Disaster recovery is a very clear case when we have some problem in the specific order and we want to quickly send an additional gift to our buyer, or maybe also return quickly the items, or maybe lower the prices and create some large history of successful sales in a very short time. Again, we need the fulfillment. And of course the holiday peaks, which are quite obvious. Now, the most common cases of that we see with the external services are the FBA, fulfillment by Amazon. So if you're on Amazon, this is the game changer, or maybe must have, especially in fashion jewelry. So fulfillment by Amazon, FBA makes, as we say, about 80% of all the sales on Amazon. On the other side, what happens if you have your website, or you have eBay or Etsy or some other external marketplace, Bonanza or Sears, something like this? Then you need some marketplace neutral platform. FBA will not be the optimal case in this state, so you have to find some additional options like EFS, for example, e-fulfillment service, or AAB logistic. AAB Express Logistic, this is a nice example of jewelry-specific fulfillment center and logistics center, which can also provide you additional services like resizing or repairing the jewelry locally near the buyer. So if you're far from your buyers, you can also look not just for the basic services like fulfillment, but additional services. So as much as concentrated it is, you will enjoy it most and provide better services. So it's up to you to find the relevant service, and there is plenty of them. And one of the things, of course, to check here is the integration and the match to your platforms. So when we create fulfillment for jewelry, quite obvious, we cannot establish it in one day, and quite normal that we will have some partial fulfillment for our jewelry. Normally we will start with 5 to 10 SKUs just to test, and it's a very funny situation that we always recommend to our client. Please do 2-3 shipments. Let's say we establish our FBA, the fulfillment by Amazon. We want to send to Amazon 2-3 shipments. And from my experience, and we've seen quite a lot here, I never seen somebody that didn't have any problems. So when you just try it, make 2 or 3, separate your first shipments in 2-3 shipments and see how it goes. So when we look at the items that are good to go for fulfillment and less effective for fulfillment, of course it will be cheaper items, because if you want to send, for example, 5 to 10 SKUs, and each piece you want to send 10 to 20 items just to test the things, then you need to allocate some budget. Quite normal. You will send the items that are less that have less variations. Why is that? Because if I want to put, for example, on my Amazon some jewelry like rings, then rings have 17 normal sizes from 4 to 11, and then to fulfill all this, to put all this on Amazon, I will have again to allocate a lot of resources. In addition, when I speak about rings, It's quite known fact that rings have more returns, not because it's our mistake, but people also make mistake in their ring sizes because it's close to the body. Opposite from that, bracelets or earrings are easy to send to fulfillment. Why is that? Simply because the earring is more or less, we know what we will, how it will look on the ear, and even if we buy it as a gift, and then again there are no sizes. So when we recommend to send, cheaper items, simple items. What means simple items? If we have some very specific items, then we are still not sure how they will actually be sold, and we are paying for each cubic feet of the storage. We are paying monthly, and for some cases, for example, with the sterling silver, it blackens, and then we have to return the jewelry to avoid the situation when our clients get some silver jewelry after a year, and it's black and it's not in a good shape. As a rule of thumb, just to conclude this, as a rule of thumb, we recommend to send, first of all, for the beginning, we will make 2-3 shipments, each one with 5 to 10 SKUs, just to learn, and each one 5 to 10 pieces, not more. So what will actually happen? We still do not have this history. If we do, then it's amazing. It's easy for us to send the jewelry, the right jewelry. So if we have previous history of our store saying, okay, this item goes well, I have sold 50 items, then it's amazing. If we don't have this history, then we will send something like 5 to 10 pieces, while the rule of thumb, the basic approach is we will always send around 2 months of selling. What does this mean? If I have a history of selling 50 items in a month, I know perfectly that it will take me to produce, to prepare the shipping, and then to send the items, and then it will take to my fulfillment center some 2-3 days to put it on the shelves and make it available for sale. So I know that it will take around a month, all this process, and then I want to take additional time for myself to prepare, and this is why the simple rule is to deliver something like 2 months of stock. Of course, with time I can make it more exact. So when I establish fulfillment, not all jewelry is good for fulfillment, like one-time items with variations, customized items, or something that requires bundling, and very expensive items, because I don't want to put $100,000 in the fulfillment. I will start with a lower cost and standardized items. And again, okay, this is the rule of thumb, and fulfillment is not the only thing to do. When we think about e-commerce, everyone speaks about fulfillment, but there are additional things. As we said, returns, very simple. Localize, use external centers, or maybe not something established, but simply provide some local address close to your buyer to return your items, especially if you are international. Simply because it gives more peace of mind to our buyers. When they know that they can easily return the items, they're ready to buy. Another thing, extend the return times. Check your experience, from our experience, if the item wasn't returned in 30 days, there are almost no chances that it will be returned in 60 days or 90 days. So to give more trust, to provide more trust to your buyer, to show more trust, you can just extend from 30 days to 90 days. And from you, operatively, nothing will happen, and your buyer will be more happy. Next part is, of course, the shipping prices. This is something that quite clear. We need to. It's much more effective to offer free shipping. We just include the shipping inside. At the same time, what is important here, you really have to bargain with your carrier, or use some mediators that get better prices than you, especially in the beginning, simply by using this, you will get better prices. Even if you go to eBay or Etsy or Amazon and Etsy, or Etsy, and you will print shipping labels, you'll mention that it saves you 10% of the shipping cost. With that, if you look for more advanced, sometimes you can save 30 and up to 50% of the standard prices. Now, last thing for international consolidation, if I have 20 shippings a day from Germany to United States, I can consolidate it in one box. For example, FedEx, each company offers this service today, more or less, and they send it as one box to United States, and then from FedEx center it's being delivered locally, so it can save and really lower your shipping prices. Now, use multiple providers. It's so obvious, and we see that people get stuck with a provider, and according to your needs. For example, DHL might be used more for Europe because they have better prices, and FedEx can be used for more expensive items to United States, and so on. Another thing that we very much recommend is the home pickup, because again, you're not post officer, you have what to do in your life. Many carriers offer this service, and it might slightly increase the cost, but then considering the fact that you're saving a lot of time, it's something that is very very useful, because at the end you're jewelers and not post people. So last two things I want to touch very briefly, because we're limited in time, is the insurance and the legal part. The insurance, in some cases, sellers are afraid of more expensive ways to send the jewelry because it's expensive. If we know that Brinks and Malkahamid and Ferrari and all the armored delivery sounds to be very expensive, but then if we consider the insurance side on, let's say, $5,000 items up, we see that in many cases, because these companies specialize on insurance, at the end price can be lower than the low-end carriers. So make sure that your total, including the insurance and all the paperwork, is cheaper, goes cheaper, because this is what interests us. We want to provide the whole logistics, which is not just the shipping itself, but also the handling, the insurance, and all the components. Now, the legal part, just make sure that you are able to sell wherever you are trying to sell. So if you are not allowed to sell treated diamonds to Mexico, make sure before selling that you can actually deliver it. Or if you cannot sell from Israel to Qatar, then make sure that you have the way to deliver your item. So this is in short about the logistics. Of course, each one of this is of what we spoke about is a theme by itself, and we can speak half an hour about each one. But I hope that it covers somehow the basic. Quicker shipment, use home bias, utilize the home bias to be as close to the client, and improve the customer service with better returns. Use external services to improve the logistics. Now, I see I have some question here in the chat. So again, there is some question from anyone they taken advantage by giving more than 30-day return window. Again, there is no exact answer to this, and let's look at this from a different point of view. Generally, we know that the return rate, I will speak, for example, about eBay, is 2%. So let's say there are these scam users who want to take an advantage. And we know that on average, whatever we do, it's 2% that we will get the returns and scam and so on. So how can we handle this? Very simple. We know that the same rate, it's not about us, it's about the marketplace, or it's about our selling channel. This is something we cannot do anything about. So let's take the same 2%, put it inside our price, because everyone is under the same conditions. And yes, we know that in 2% we will get somebody who will actually do it not with good reasons, but generally, if we know that the rest 98% of people are good buyers who are statistically will not return after 1 month, then just showing when we are sure about our products, we can offer you the 90 days because we are sure. Okay, it will increase our. It will actually, at the end, it will influence our revenue line much more than the 2% of the speculators and so on. So I hope this answers your question. If there are some questions, you're welcome to write them in chat. And meanwhile, as you are writing, I want to actually give a minute, and I want to switch, so there are no immediate questions. Okay, where we are based out of. So Valigara, amazingly, we as Valigara have almost nothing to do with the logistic. We provide the software for jewelry e-commerce, which is actually the management system starting with the ERP and then going into product information management, orders, listings, and statistics. So we are the jewelry, the software that manages all the e-commerce cycle from A to Z. Only technologically, we are based in Israel. We work worldwide. You're welcome to visit our website for more information. Now we're not speaking about Valigara as an e-commerce center. We just speak about the solution that help you jewelers to grow online. But thank you for the questions, for this question. And I want to switch to the next theme again. It's something that has nothing to do to what we in Valigara as a multi-channel marketing system do. The theme of the conversion, what are the recent technological developments that allow us to sell better in our websites. This is something that never changes and never stops, and it's very important that we keep updated. So today we invited Artem Sandelson, the CEO of Innova Diamonds, who actually provide the technology for CRO, conversion ratio optimization. It's a professional term for making sure that your website sells better, and who specialize in artificial intelligence, who are actually on top of the technology, and they know to tell us the most fascinating story where the artificial intelligence goes in the e-commerce field. So I will ask now to switch to Artem for the next part of our presentation.
I'm CEO of Innova Diamonds, and we are changing the way that people are buying and selling jewelry online. We are official partners of the Israel Diamond Exchange. Also, our technology is supported both by IBM and Microsoft, and we won a year for Ticket and e-commerce innovation in the TechCrunch event in Madrid. So let's just briefly talk why do we need technology and what is the e-commerce is about in the jewelry sector. So basically, Actually, the e-commerce is not the future anymore. It's, as Igor said in his presentation yesterday, and we see a rapid growth in the e-commerce and online B2C jewelry market, both in the fine and the fashion jewelry segment. But the most interesting thing is that Salesforce conducted a research recently, and they see that 75% of your customers are seeking a technology for a better user experience. Moreover, the same research shows that the customer prefers and willing to pay more if he has a better engagement technology. So it's all about engagement. Again, it's all about engagement. But if you are running an e-commerce business, you have your own website in order to acquire your customers. It can be PPC in Google, PPC in Facebook, social marketing, SEO, articles, whatever you say, you have to invest money in order to bring the traffic, bring the potential customers who are willing to buy something to your website. The second step is, once the customers came to your website, you have to engage with them. You have out of your competition not only in price, but you have to provide them something so they won't close the window and go to another website they opened in the past. If you can do it, you will get the conversion. You will see the customer who has the item to your shopping cart and finally clicks purchase. So basically you have to manage your marketing costs and your conversion rate to invest $1 and get $1 to it. There are a lot of tools that can help you do it. First of all, you have to have a nice looking website, you have to have a collection of items, you have to have nice looking images. But let's face it, most of the online retailers now have it. Most of the online retailers have a nice looking website, they have a nice design, they have a chart to talk with their visitors, and they have an images of their product. So you have to offer something in order to engage with your customers with technology better than your competitors. So what are the main difficulties that we are trying to solve with online? You actually can't show your customers how your design, no matter if we are talking about engagement ring or a fashion jewelry ring for $15. You can't show them how this specific design will look like on their hair. You can't show them the proportion of the design. So your customers don't know if this ring, this solitaire design engagement ring will be big on their fingers, small on their fingers. They should choose a white gold or yellow gold, one carat diamond, other carat diamond. They even don't know how the diamond will look like in real gold. If there are people here who are selling engagement rings, one of the most common questions I'm sure you are facing is, hey, can you tell me please, is one carat diamond a big stone or a small stone? So they never saw a diamond, and they basically yesterday a store owner couldn't actually take the ring and put it out of the screen and show it to the customer like offline store. But now you can. We developed augmented reality solution that allows your customers to see how the exact ring on your website will look like on their fingers. Moreover, we are doing it very social. So each and every customer can try on a limited number of rings with a limited number of diamonds, see the exact ring and the exact design, the exact diamond, how it will look like on their finger. They can share it with their friends, get some feedback, and then purchase. And one more specific thing in our industry is that each and every of your customers, each and every of us, have unique finger size. And the same design will look different on my finger, on my wife's finger, on your customer's finger, because we all have different finger size. We all have different skin colors. So the main advantage of our technology is to show your customers what they see is what they get. The exact picture, the exact thing they will see in their phone when they are trying on the link on your website, they will get it all. So nowadays we have several products. I will briefly talk about two of them now. The first product is augmented reality button. It can be integrated plug and play in any jeweler's website, any designer owned system, jeweler's catalog, product page, whatever you say. You don't have to provide us any specific images or renderings, nothing. We just provide you the technology automatically. All the thing you have to do is copy paste one line of code to your website. When you do it, your customers can take their phone, and you know that 99% of your customers, no matter how old they have a smartphone. So the only thing they need to do is to take their smartphone, enter your website, click on our augmented reality button as you can see here, make a picture of their hand and see the link appears on the finger automatically in the right proportion. So you can see an illustration of it. It's a screenshot of solitary engagement print, but of course it can work with any design, engagement ring, fashion ring, or metal, gemstone, gold, silver, whatever you say. The second product is a next generation for social marketing. From now on, you can allow your customers to use augmented reality and try on your rings and collections directly via Facebook and Instagram. It also gives you them the ability to share their images, to share your rings with their friends, both in Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, receive feedback. What the cool thing is for you is that you get free of charge file marketing that your customers are doing for you. Because each and every image that is shared is shared with your own website of your website. But again, why do we need to apply new technologies such as augmented reality? Well, it's obvious that if you will show your customers the rings before they buy them, if you give them the option to try the rings, to get the emotional connection to the rings, they will likely purchase from you than from your competitors who doesn't offer them this ability. But let's talk about numbers. We calculated some numbers with a lot of customers that we are working on. And this technology increased the engagement rate in the product page by 50%. And as a result, it increased the page value by 149%. So if you remember my third slide of this presentation, that is all about engagement, it really is. And you can say, okay, just an engagement, but how can we see the money from the engagement? The people like to try the rings, they like our design, but where is the money? The money is here. So again, we calculated the numbers of the e-commerce websites we are working on. And we saw during the last season, from the 1st October to the 29th December, compared to the previous season, an improvement in a conversion rate by 18%. We are talking about a lot of money here. And we are talking about the improvement in conversion rate. It doesn't matter if the season was better in general or not. We are talking about the same website, with the same functionality, the same design, the same product, with the exact same amount of traffic and visitors. Once it implemented our technology, it rose by 18% more in terms of conversion. This website and other websites, it's an average data. They sold more because they provided the customers a better engagement. So having a jewelry store is just all about engagement. And if talking again about the slide, what you need as e-commerce owners to do is three things. You have to do a great marketing. Augmented reality can help you and save you costs for your marketing by achieving a lot of organic traffic. Your customers can do the marketing for you. It helps you engage with your customers, to convince them to stay on your website and not go to your competitor website because you are offering them something more. And if we recall the recent study of Salesforce, you can see the contacts of our marketing teams who are located in Israel, and you would like to meet us. We are located at the Israel Diamond Exchange Yalom building. Open for your questions. If you would like, you can write a question in the chat and I'll try to answer them. Thanks.
Thank you, Artyom. It's really interesting to see how the industry is changing. So if I may ask, where do you think augmented reality will be in 5 years, or maybe what are the next steps when we speak about the jewelry e-commerce from technology point of view?
Basically, the augmented reality is here already. Of course, it will cover much higher market share during the upcoming years because it's not a nice to have tool anymore. It's a must have tool in order to convince your customers to purchase from you. So each and every e-commerce website will have to have an augmented reality trial experience for their customers in order to achieve higher sales. A good example for it is, for example, the 3D videos of the week. If you remember 10 or 15 years ago, people sold jewelry only with images. After that, they understood that they should show something more to provide a better technology experience for the customers. We can see Valigara, for example, with the 3D diamond imaging, 3D jewelry imaging, etc. And it changed the market, and it's not a doubt that if you want to sell your jewelry and your diamonds better, you have to have a 3D video right now in your website. The same goes with augmented reality. So the evolution of the technology and the market share will be the same as the video. In order to sell, you will have to have it in your website.
Thank you for this. So if I understand correctly, it's happening now, and as I understand, the current assumption is actually that, as you say, that 99% of your buyers have the mobile phone. So the mobile phone is involved on the other side. What we see on more fine jewelry purchases, the fine jewelry purchase starts on the mobile when I'm speaking about $1,000 and up item, and it ends because of the higher engagement of the buyer. It ends on the desktop. So how can this be actually? So it's cross-platform. So how does the AR technology evolve on the desktop computers?
That's really a perfect question, because we do see that the majority of the traffic comes from the mobile devices, but the actual purchases happen on the desktop. That's why we have full desktop support. So you can use augmented reality on the desktop and PC devices. You just have to and a QR code with your phone camera.
Mm.
You can try on your phone, use your phone camera, and it will be streamed in real time to your desktop computer. So now people can try on the jewelry both on the phone if they are viewing the website via the mobile site, and they can try on and use the full augmented reality feature both in the desktop to see it before they actually click the purchase button.
So actually, it's a fully cross-platform solution where I am as a buyer, even if I start the purchase on my phone, then I can switch to a website and see the product in the website and see my hand in my computer browser.
Correct.
That's amazing. That's really amazing. So of course, yeah, it increases the engagement. I understand perfectly how the item will look on my hand. The only maybe last challenge is to figure it out how I can do it, maybe by photographing my wife's hand when she is sleeping, so I can make a present for her, and then maybe
you can actually make the picture of her hair, upload via the computer, and you will see the result.
Amazing. That's really amazing. Yeah, so it looks like a very good solution, and yes, we hope that it will be supported also by the marketplaces. It's very challenging because in your website you can apply the technology. So the next step is to have it implemented both also on the marketplaces, and then we are covered. So I want to thank you, Artem, very much for this summary, and hopefully this is the next step for us to provide better service, to show our unique items better to our buyers, and that's really important step forward for the e-commerce. Thank you, Artem, for this. So as you know, welcome. Thank you very much, Artem, for being with us. We are more or less ending this session. If you have some questions, you're welcome to write them in the chat. And we want to thank you for this hour of your attention. We know it's very valuable for your business, so we appreciate it very much, and we're looking forward to see you at the next webinar, which we're running monthly. We will send the announcements. We hope that you have registered to this event, as this will allow us to send you the recording of this webinar, so that if there was something relevant both on the logistic point of view or maybe the AR point of view, we hope that you can also share this. It's an open to the public meetup, but for us to be able to send it to you, we hope that you have registered, and please stay in touch with us with all questions, both related to technology and not, also the business related questions. We are here to help you grow, to provide the right solutions, and we really hope to see you in our next meeting. Thank you very much. Have a great time. Have a great day, and enjoy selling. Thank you.
Thank you.